Well, hello, ladies and gents. Welcome to StarCraft 2 Grand Finals. Woohoo! I hope you've all had fun watching the van go through the river constantly, over and over. We tried to, spice it up a little bit. You've been waiting for ages, right? So why not, you know? We've got both competitors up here ready to go. You'll notice there are some people missing. So we're going to give it 30 seconds, and hopefully they'll just turn up. Otherwise, you're just stuck with me, basically. So, best of luck, I guess. Hopefully they'll be with us soon. Has everyone enjoyed their weekend, though? Yeah? Definitely, yeah? Coming back for more? Okay, well, it's Saturday evening. It's 11:15. I'll forgive you for that one. Next time I ask, though, a bit of a, you know. Hopefully we'll get casters at some point. Shall I see if I can get them to replay the van again for us? Let me pull a favor or two, okay? Right, let's see. There we go. Oh. Ah. Oh. Hey, there it is. They basically teased us then, didn't they, in fairness? Give it one more. One more for good measure. Oh. That ain't it, is it? Let's be honest. Oh, no. You would not, by the way, believe the amount of chaos I hear in my ears right now from backstage. There we go. Wonderful. Do you know, I started Epic LAN in 2019, and that's when that was filmed. And that van's been going back and forward every LAN. I swear to God, it's never stopped going back and forward. Always there. Right, we have casters finally. Gents, nice of you to show up.
Thanks for having us.
How are we doing?
We're very well. It's lovely to be here.
Refreshed now?
If anyone wants to know, blame Gumpster. That's all I have to say.
I mean, Gump is the only one to blame, really, isn't it, in fairness? We've made you guys wait long enough as it is. This isn't good to look at. So I'm just going to throw it to these guys, let them take over. Good luck to the rest of you guys, and enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you very much. Well, welcome to StarCraft 2. I'm Bollard, and I'm joined with Hart. How are you doing?
I'm so well after that lovely brisk stroll from upstairs. The lift is broken, so
we definitely didn't sprint down the stairs. We definitely didn't sprint down the stairs.
I'm so happy to be here for the grand final of StarCraft 2. Can we get some noise for Risky?
And then on the other side, we got a lot of Polish fans in the crowd. Can we get some noise for Gerald? Oh, I think Gerald's a little bit more popular with our fans, which is really exciting to see.
Yeah, we're just checking in with the players now, making sure everyone's finally ready to go. I will say and apologize, we are slightly behind schedule. I believe in Polish you say kurwa mać, but we're now ready to go. We're kicking off, hopping into game number 1 on Oceanborn, and I've never been more excited.
Yeah, absolutely. This is obviously a rematch of the upper bracket final that we saw earlier today, which Gerald was able to sweep 3-0. So it'll be interesting to see if Risky can mount an attack in this grand final.
Let's do the caster thing, Bollard. Spawning in the top left of Oceanborn Ellie, playing in the blue, it's Gerald.
And down in the bottom right-hand side of the map, in the red trunks, it is the UK's last hope in EPIC43. It's Risky!
We've got a little bit of explaining to do. Gerald is starting off with a 1-map advantage in this series.
That's right. So it's a best of 7, but Gerald gets the 1-map advantage because he came through the upper bracket. Not only has he been undefeated in this tournament, he's dropped 1 map the entire time. That's pretty insane, isn't it?
Yeah, and the person who took that 1 map would love me to shout them out and mention their name on stream, and I'm not going to.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot.
Risky is getting his hatch blocked. This is only slightly annoying. We may see some kind of comeuppance for this move later in the game, as Geralt can kind of abuse that slightly with the Adepts. It makes defending the Adepts just a tiny bit more annoying. It's obviously much nicer to have your creep connected, your bases close to each other, but generally it's not a problem for these high levels anymore. You basically just pull the drone slightly earlier and take the 3rd on location. Yeah. It doesn't delay your build at all, but we'll see if Geralt can kind of punish that move at all.
Yeah, and I mean in this high level gameplay, getting any little edge you can is always nice, and we'll see how that plays out in this game.
Yeah, on the other side, it's looking like a really standard opener for Geralt. I'm having some audio issue, so you're going to have to talk.
I'm going to have to talk for a minute. Yeah, absolutely. That's not a problem at all. Yeah, as we get in this early stage of the game, we're not going to see too much of massive interest. But what we can talk about is kind of Risky's history in this tournament. Risky is a player who everyone at Epic LAN should know by now. 13 Epic LAN wins to his name. And a really interesting fact about Risky's LAN history at Epic LAN is that he has never lost a grand final. Every grand final he has appeared in, he has won. That doesn't mean he's won every Epic LAN he's played in. He's got 3 third places to his name as well. But in fact, it's pretty cool to see that this is going to be a real test of his Epic LAN grand final chops.
Yeah, it might be his first silver medal.
Ever.
I'm not sure he'll be super happy about that
I don't think he'll be pleased at all. No, I wouldn't be pleased either. And it's actually really cool to see Protoss representation in a grand final at Epic LAN. I've been coming since about the same time as Reaper had 2019, when that drone footage that everyone loves so much was filmed. And yeah, I've not seen too many Protosses getting to the final. The exception being, I guess, T-Ball, I think, won in that period.
Yeah, I hate to break it to you, but this may be the last time for a while. I've been reading Reddit, and apparently the patch is going to kill all Protoss hopes and dreams, maybe forever.
Wait, Protosses had hopes and dreams?
Maybe Geralt did in this tournament.
Well, Geralt has been, you know, living up to those hopes and dreams up until now. I think it would be wrong of us to say that he, you know, he is the strong favourite if we didn't mention that up until now. Despite Risky's LAN history, Risky came in as the 2nd seed, everyone really respecting Gerald's performance. Gerald actually also not a newbie to the Epic LAN experience, is that right?
Yeah, technically, but he played in an Epic WAN. Which is
online.
Yeah, online tournament. Due to the pandemic, we kind of shifted gears. Everyone went online for a couple years. We're so glad to be back here, live in Kettering for Epic LAN.
Oh, some Lings have managed to get into the base, and the probes are being pulled to deal with that.
Yeah,
it's a minor little distraction.
Yeah,
Didn't
it's really
lose any
nice
probes,
on
right?
both sides, actually. The Adept over in the other, in Risky's base, has not gotten too much damage either. It's got a kill. I think that must be a Zergling or something. It's going to lose that Adept, and this is not really, you know, you kind of want to pull back before you do. I think both of these are going to get picked up. Good recall to save the other Adept there.
The crowd's going wild because we went back to the drone footage of the car going under the bridge briefly, which maybe not as exciting as this match.
I thought they were just big Adept fans, I can't lie.
They were all really excited that the Adepts got out alive. But no, they'd seen the bridge. We'll see if it makes a return.
So this is a good number of Lings out for Risky. He's poking and prodding a little bit for now. These were basically defensive Lings to clear up those Adepts, but he can now kind of poke around at the 3rd base. It is a pretty quick, like standard timing 3rd base from Geralt, but with the Oracles already out, there's not much that these Lings can get done here. He may like sort of run in and try and bait out the Oracle activation, burn a little bit of the energy there, but mostly both players have kind of been pretty respectful of each other. Made their kind of army and their aggressive tools, but also obviously using them very well defensively as well.
I've just come to the realization this is the 2nd PBZ I've cast today, the other one being Zane versus Iba, which was a 2-hour epic that went the full best of 5. It'll be interesting to see how this series kind of differs to that one in terms of the build choices that the players make.
I really wanted to cast that one, but in the end I'm so glad I didn't, because my voice is already suffering and I feel like I may be mute if I had...
I was out of water by about an hour in, and it was bad. It was really bad.
That's suffering for you. Suffering for passion is always worth it. 2 drones picked off from these Oracle dives. He does manage to get out with plenty of health left on them. Sending the 4 Adepts across the map, this is again just a little bit pressure. These aren't Glaive Adepts, they're not super scary. He doesn't have like 12 to 16 of them like you'd see with a bigger pressure, but it is going to force a bit of a response out of Risky to make sure he doesn't take too much damage here.
The Ling's doing well to make sure that those shades could not complete, and they do get cancelled by Gerald.
Yeah, and he's also picking up a lot of creep tumors here with the Revelation spell on the Oracles. 3 Oracles total and Blink behind, so this is what people are calling the hero style. It's become pretty standard and quite ubiquitous in PvZ now. It's quite an active style, you kind of get out on the map a bit more, you know, you're not like sitting back and chilling so well. But obviously you go pretty ham with the Stalkers, which are then protected by the Oracles. Maybe able to keep a couple of Stalker kills here by Risky.
That's a really nice little free pick up there. He's not going to be too sad about that.
Yeah, on the other hand, also diving onto these Adepts, so he's kind of doing a pretty good job of trying to pick Geralt apart pretty well here in this early game so far.
The Oracles do come back and, of course, manage to clear that up nicely with their bonus damage to Bio.
Yeah, not what Geralt wanted at all, though. He had to pull workers away, so he lost a lot of mining time. Losing even a couple probes there and even a couple Stalkers makes his follow-up Blink push just that little bit weaker.
Yeah, you don't want to be losing those Stalkers if you are going Blink.
Yeah, Risky now finally feeling comfortable enough to make a few drones, so he's going to go up to a decent count, pushing the kind of 70 number. Storm behind this for Geralt, who is on a really healthy worker count himself. Interested to see how many Stalkers we end up with on the field that he can start to kind of play around with.
And the Link's trying to get another run by, but they're not going to have any joy here as a gateway wall has been erected.
Yeah, I feel like he could have dived on those adepts, but ended up letting them go.
And the Oracle's once again searching for some damage, but that base is not yet saturated, so there aren't any drones for it to pick off.
Yeah, no spores there either, but yeah, no damage, but yeah.
Doesn't,
Also not
doesn't lose
mining,
the
so
Oracles, doesn't,
yeah,
it's all good, you know. Big fat load of nothing.
Love to see it. Actually, gonna make almost a double expansion from Risky. I've seen Risky do this 100 times. It's always a move I really like. He basically expands on the left and the right, and then if he gets pushed on one, he can cancel the other. He's always quite an aggressively macro player, a bit too overcooked. Yeah, losing the Oracle there into those Queens and Spores. We're kind of moving into stage again where the Oracles are kind of less important. They're really helpful to keep alive. You need them for Revelate, especially obviously.
It can still be super handy to have one around with your army, right?
Yeah, you
Whether
absolutely
it's putting down
need to keep
stasis
them alive.
wards or it's using Revelation to keep track of your opponent. The Oracle's just such a great utility unit.
Yeah, you need to keep them alive, but
you probably don't need
damage
three.
really yeah, absolutely right.
And they can deal with Ling run-bys nicely as well if you need to pull them home.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting, Geralt did go for that really quick blink, but then he's kind of shifted gears and instead gone, and you know, hasn't made any Stalkers, hasn't actually gone onto the map with any Stalkers. Needs to be a bit careful of these Oracles, obviously losing those Adepts in a pretty unfavourable trade, but you know, they're moving into the kind of mid stages of the game. They haven't got glaives, so they're not that helpful. Trading them out there is completely fine. He's instead going to go quite hard into what we call CIA. It's not very creative. Yeah, it's Charge Slot, Immortal Archon.
So it's got nothing to do with the police?
I can't possibly comment. But it, you know, he kind of went for this blink opener, didn't really use it. Now going towards that CIA, you see Charge wrapping up on the right there. I believe this is his second Robo finishing up, but I might be wrong, might have hallucinated that one. And you see then, more High Templar coming through. He'll build up some energy for Storm, of course, but oh yeah, it's his second Robo, cool.
But we're not going to see any hallucinations so far in this game. A real lack of sentries.
Yeah, Zane will be upset. He's a mass sentry enjoyer, in fact.
He is a big sentry.
A lot of Lings coming through, and these Stalkers obviously have Blink, but you know, that's a lot of Lings, big Storms, and at least Risky now knows that that's a risk for him.
Yeah, I mean, the energy does come back, but you do want to try and hold on to it for a more opportune moment than storming a few Lings, I think.
Yeah.
Going to be keeping it hopefully for
Hydras
Lurkers or Hydras
but
when
these
they
are
come across.
slow Hydras. I feel like he's going to turn around and go home. Now that he knows Storm is out, it's like, am I really going to play slow Hydras against Storm? Feels like a mistake. So he's going to turn around.
Despite Gerald trying to push back the creep in the early game, Risky's actually got a pretty good stranglehold on the middle of the map now, and the creep's really getting over there onto Gerald's side of the map.
Yeah, it's so nice. Zane tells me this is map hacks for Zerg. So yeah, Risky, like you said.
I mean,
really
I would like to be able to
for
see the whole map at all times.
He's going to see half the map, not the whole map, but going to add a couple expansions to the south. He can start to push expansions up to on the north, like kind of northeast side of the map as well. His creep is reaching up there pretty well at this point, so we can start to get to those like mid-game split map scenarios that I think both players are going to be pretty comfortable with, to be honest.
Yeah, this charge ult run by is going to get intercepted by all these Zerglings and pretty handily dealt with. And here come the Lurkers. They're going to be pushing up towards Gerald's side of the map.
Yeah, Risky getting towards maxed out, getting his Hypertech upgrades coming through. But Gerald's also getting towards his equivalent, so he's pumping those Immortals. Fleet Beacon is done, so we can start to see those kind of capital ships.
Yeah, it's
Cute little Lurker drop.
Ooh, I didn't spot this.
And Risky really loves to play around with Niduses as well. I'd love to see him get a Nidus now. Start to, there we go. He's starting to get the Nidus in, starting to pull the approaches apart. Geralt not missing a beat on this one and warping in quickly enough to deal with that.
Yeah, really quick to respond to the Nidus, a lot quicker than we've seen in previous games.
Yeah, and it's not easy to do, obviously. You're getting pushed at the front with this kind of Lurker siege, getting a big Ling run by on the west, but you've also got a Nidus in the main and a drop in the main, so there's a lot going on to kind of keep up with. He's doing a good job of mostly avoiding damage in the main. Does get his next expansion.
Yeah, it's a really good multi-prong attack from Risky, trying to keep Gerald busy, but he's actually, you know, keeping our Observer busy at the same time, managing to defend it on all fronts so far there, Gerald.
Yeah, not looking too bad at all, definitely not getting picked apart. Not sure he's taking the best trades, but definitely not the worst either. Big Storm's coming down on top of the Lurkers, and these Lurkers, fortunately, don't really have enough backup. They only get an Immortal on the south, but I think these three coming through on the north are going to clear this up. As Geralt starts to push back, he is actually banking quite a lot behind this. I'd love to see him start using those Stargates, and he does.
Yeah, Gerald tried to get his fourth base up and established, because to Risky, you know, he's now on 6 bases, so he doesn't want to fall too far behind here. Did get cancelled, but it seems like for now, Gerald has hold, pushed him back, and probably can establish that 4th base safely.
Yeah, Geralt's doing a really good job mostly of keeping his tech units alive. Hasn't lost many Templar, hasn't lost many Immortals, and as we move later into the game, those become really important. Obviously, he's working off a lot of production and a lot of a lot of eco behind this as well to really drive this through. So I think in general he's going to feel quite confident moving into the late stage of this game. Another cancel on this base. I feel like he could have moved to protect it. I'm not really sure where his army's ending up at the moment.
Now, he's being pulled from pillar to post. There's more Niduses going down in the main. There was some action going on at the third, but the cannon should be able to clear that up. And Risky is going to try and push up that ramp.
Yeah, might be a bit ambitious with their Storms here. There's a lot of Immortal and Archons here as well. Even a good Stalker count makes this a little bit scary. Risky giving up and turning around, going home.
Yeah,
Not with his tail, he's pushing his legs just yet. Big blink forward's a bit aggressive, but does get a Lurker for his...
Was it 1 or 2? I thought he might even got 2.
Maybe even got 2. He only traded a Stalker for it, so overall a pretty
Yeah,
good
it's good
trade
value,
for Geralt.
good value.
Maneuvering around the map. Risky now on creep, puts him in a pretty decent spot. But it looks like Geralt's wanting to go aggressive here. He obviously is maxed out with starting to build a little bit of a bank behind it, so it's a really nice spot where you start to think, okay, I can now afford to lose some of these units. I can now afford to replace if I lose anything. So
Yeah, and it looks like what he's going to be replacing it with is Tempests. He's got those Stargates up in the background while this fight was going on. And we're hopefully going to see some Sky Toss coming in to deal with the mass numbers of Lurkers.
I'd love to see a Mothership.
I would love to see it. We saw a lot of motherships on the side of Zane in the Zane Ibis series.
Yeah.
That was really cool to see. We saw an incredible recall play.
Yeah, I saw the recall.
Oh my god, it was so spicy.
Yeah.
Snipes one base on one side of the map, recalls to the other side of the map, snipes that base and gets away nearly scot-free. It was a wonderful play.
Almost feels unfair, doesn't it? It's such a a huge amount of utility through the mothership, so it'd be really awesome if we could get one of those through. At the moment, I think he hasn't got enough supply to make one. That's starting to trade out. Picking up some of these Corruptors is a really nice spot to be in. It doesn't let them get on top of his Tempest at all.
He doesn't want to lose the Immortals, but he'd be probably happy to lose a few Stalkers to make some space for some more air units. What's the situation with Risky? He's got a Spire, but no Greater Spire yet?
Risky's a bit stuck in this position. There aren't great options in this kind of stage of the game for the Zerg. That's objectively, that's not my opinion, that's objective truth. And that means that Risky's kind of stuck on this like almost kind of mid-game army. It's like a lot of Hydras, a lot of Lings, a lot of Lurkers, but like, okay, we can kind of theorycraft this one out. If he goes Ultras, he's going to run into Tempest and Immortals.
It's not great.
It's not
a great matchup.
If he goes Broodlords, they are terrible. Have you been on my favorite website, neverbrood.com?
No, I have not been on neverbrood.com, but now I kind of want to have a look.
Definitely worth checking out, if only to give ACV ad revenue. But yeah, Broods are really not the play here. Tempest are already out, so they're kind of already countered. This is a nice pickup.
This is a lovely pickup.
Risky though.
He's going to get 2 Tempests,
Yeah,
or maybe he's going to get all 3.
For 3. Even picking up the Oracle here is really nice because it stops the Revelations coming through on the Lurkers and the rest of the game. Geralt's going to really need to replace that because at the moment he has no detection.
And the Corruptors have gone AFK, but they did kind of manage to escape mostly with their lives. More Storms going down now, killing the vast majority of the Corruptor ball, but they did do their job. They got rid of the Tempest, so it's mostly just a ground army left.
A really nice position. Yeah, they got rid of the Tempest, which means these Lurkers are actually really strong. And Nidus coming up in the main, I'd love to see if that's going to get cleared, or if there's going to be anything out
Geralt
there.
has been so on top of these Niduses. I've never seen them die so quickly, to be honest.
Yeah, he's really on top of everything, it seems, at the moment. He's starting to bank a little bit and isn't managing to spend it down. I mean, he's not fully maxed just yet. Again, perfect time to make a Mothership, cough, cough. But I think he could do with adding maybe a little bit more production. But at the moment, you know, he's not maxed, but he's not struggling for supply either. Maybe he's just struggling slightly to spend down that bank. Oh, he did it. Let's go.
Oh, that's a beautiful shot. Thank you to our observer Exo for capturing that moment.
Another big storm point on these Corruptors. Does need to be a bit careful because there are even more Tempests coming through. You know, you can kind of trade them out, but you don't ever want to have none against the Protoss who has loads of Tempest or Carrier. This seems like a good fight for Geralt as he pushes through with the Immortals on the north side. And on the south now, this is going to be a big wipe for Risky. Is the Nidus down, or is it still over here on the east?
There's some Lurkers in the natural, but I don't see a Nidus on the map.
I think it's just above this, but that might be an Overlord.
That was
More
an Overlord.
Corruptors going down. These Lurkers are being irritating, but not super consequential. They do get into the main. I think Risky's played this one about as well as he can, maybe. Been really trying to pick and pull at Geralt and kind of pull him in every direction, but
he did manage
like
to deny the
still
fourth
pretty
again.
well.
You know, he's been up bases for a long time, but the worker count's fairly even, so maybe Geralt isn't too bothered about that.
More irritation from Risky as he parks a Lurker in the base. Tries to move it, but it's going to get Revelated cleared up. We do have another replacement Oracle come through.
Gone through a lot of Oracles this game, has Geralt.
Yeah, almost as many as we've had Prime Ministers in the last few years.
I don't think that's possible.
Yeah, they last about as long though. Finally it might spawn. Finally we might see the Mothership. I think Geralt has kind of had enough. He starts to push through. Risky though, on the other hand, trying to kind of distract him, trying to push towards the top and kind of threaten the base trade. Geralt is actually going to fall for it and kind of chase this up. These spines, I don't know if you've read the patch notes, they are getting buffed in the new patch apparently. These are unbuffed spines as Geralt is going to push. This may be a bit ambitious, there's a lot of lurkers here, but with Storms, with a good number of Immortals, I feel like this is a trade Geralt can take as Risky supply.
He's going to lose a lot of Immortals for it though.
Yeah, but Risky just has nothing here, maybe even dropping below 100 supply for the first time in a while. Geralt having a tiny teeny bank behind this, but you know, these charge drops on the south side, he can push these into the next phase. He's kind of really pruned Risky back, even his Corrupt is going down every little hurts, I guess.
Yeah.
Finally seeing the Mothership as well.
Nice to see Geralt finally managing to put some pressure onto Risky's side of the map. He's kind of been penned in for a long time, but it's not really been anything lethal.
I think it's the way the Protoss would prefer to play, is like dropping Zealots and running by and this sort of thing. But obviously Risky's done a really good job of keeping him busy. I wonder how disheartening seeing the Mothership is. You know, you find someone's finally spent 350 on a paperweight. You're like, oh, I really am losing. But no, we did see a cloaking coming out from the Mothership just temporarily. I feel like this is helping Geralt win trades that he doesn't even really need to win that well. More Corruptors going down in this game is really not what Risky needs. I feel like he's basically on his last legs and his last stand. We'll see if he can survive as Geralt does look to be going for a push through the middle of the map now.
Even recalling those Zealots, every little helps, as we said before, keeping them alive so he can use them later for another run by perhaps.
Yeah, it's not like Geralt is on super high eco. He doesn't have a huge number of bases.
Managed
and
to spend a lot of his
the
bank,
ones
right?
he's got. Yeah, the bank has kind of been spent down and he isn't maxed, so that's how you can kind of tell that the game is going a little bit long and not super well, but things are definitely in kind of worse position for Risky here.
We see another Zealot run by, gonna go and perhaps reduce Risky's base count even further. That base is kind of getting mined out, and all the drones did manage to evacuate, but hopefully the Lurkers can clear it up.
The problem is that Geralt knows that the Lurkers are down here, so he's going to push through the middle, and now what does Risky have to defend up here? You know, he's chosen to defend the Zealot run by, but that means that he doesn't actually have enough to defend the main army of Geralt coming through the middle. Geralt's playing this really slowly and really methodically, like clearing creep. He doesn't want to get surrounded and caught out. So showing a lot of respect to his opponent here, to be honest.
At this point, Risky's having to build a large number of Lings. That's probably not where he wants to be in this kind of stage of the game. Lings, you know, maybe a bit of desperation play.
Yeah, I mean, he's banking a lot of gas, but like, can he make Infestors against this? Maybe a couple. Can he make Vipers? They're going to get feedback, so it's definitely in a bit of a tough spot. I don't blame him at all for trying to play this one out. Let's see if he can make a bit of a stand on creep.
Well, yeah, here we see Geralt making a big push with the Mothership, with the army, but he's going to back up for now. Yeah,
he definitely doesn't want to run headfirst into a load of Lurkers. That's a good way to throw a game. But likewise, the Zerg feels much more confident when they're getting Lurkers in really awkward positions and forcing the Protoss to run through like a really annoying choke or up a really annoying ramp. When you're playing defensively like this, it's just a little bit harder. Move commanding on the Lurkers is going to lose a few. Storms on the Corruptors, I think we've got one left for actually a pretty decent Tempest count from the Protoss. They're going to siege down these Lurkers. Okay, he needs to make one more so that they can one-shot Lurkers, because otherwise he's going to waste a lot of time and energy there.
You want to get that extra Tempest.
But Risky kind of being irritating where he can. I don't know that it's phasing Geralt too much in this game.
This Lurker's actually getting some work done. It gets 7 probes killed. It brings the worker count back even between the two players. I mean, usually as a Zerg you would want to be ahead, but it's better than nothing.
Both players would love to be on a much higher count though. We're getting towards the 60s, which for this kind of 20-minute game you definitely want to be like 80 plus maybe.
Oh,
good
and the Mothership gets yoinked.
Can I get a minus 400 in chat? Let's go. Good. It does get a nice little bubble, time slow bubble off there before it goes down.
But we can totally see how comfortable Geralt's feeling now in this game, going up to a 6th base, kind of catching up to Risky's base count at last.
Yeah, I mean, Risky lost a base on the northeast of here. On this map, it's really hard to actually grab that base. And also trying to re-establish his position on the south. And like you said, a base next to this one is starting to mine out. So he's definitely feeling the pressure a little bit on the economic front. With these Vipers out, it does look like he's starting to trade a little bit better, maybe. Another big pull on the carrier to get that.
You don't mind that, you don't mind that at all. If you're Risky, getting a little cheeky carrier yoink. Is that one of the first carriers we've seen in this game? Up until now, Geralt's been purely in Tempest land.
Yeah, definitely a Tempest enjoyer. Feel like I'm learning.
First carrier that died, at least.
Feel like I'm learning a little bit about CDP myself. I guess my games don't normally go this long.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm outing myself as a bit of a cheeser.
I mean, a lot of the PvC we've seen today has gone 20+ minutes. That Zane vs Iba series, you know, we had one 25-minute plus game, total series run length of about an hour and 50 minutes, and we've got a brief bit of lag.
That might be on our end. I'm hoping that isn't affecting the players, so we'll have to double check. Pretty sure we're okay. We're in the clear. We're going to carry on. Another big pull coming through, grabbing, I guess another Tempest or a carry or something there from the Corruptors, but you can see Risky has now finally spent that gas bank down. Still not maxed, but definitely a little bit healthier supply than he was previously. And like you said, picking off a lot of those workers I think helps to even things out in this game. He doesn't really want to lose this, but I don't think he has an option as that hatch goes down once again.
I mean, we're still at a point where I think the Protoss has more air units in Tempest than Risky does in Corruptors, so it's not really a fight you can realistically take.
Yeah, I mean, Tempests are quite weak straight up, so he never wants to, like, straight run, you know, move,
run them against Corruptors,
yeah.
but even still, you would expect the Zerg to have a lot more Corruptors.
Yeah, it's definitely very irritating for Risky to start to get this siege down. A lot of work is going down, and actually Risky, for the first time in a long time, evening out the supply. Move command on the Lurkers is painful.
No!
Definitely not what he wanted. I mean, even if it was just like a few Hydras, you'd prefer that to losing those Lurkers. They're so valuable when you're kind of playing more defensively as Risky is.
We're seeing Zealot run-bys on one side of the map, we're seeing Ling run-bys now on the other side of the map, but a good cleanup from Geralt means he's going to take no damage from this one.
Yeah,
meanwhile,
I mean, they got their damage already. There were already 5 workers going down on the top side, so he did recall, kind of had enough to pick that off.
is that a
Big
time warp?
cloak and a time warp from the mothership.
I don't think I've seen a time warp yet today.
Absolutely melting everything here. Risky at last, pulling the trigger, moving in, but that's it.
And GG is called.
He's had enough.
That brings Geralt to 2-0 in this series with his one map advantage that we can't forget, and it's carrying on much like the upper bracket final occurred earlier.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. It's not a bad start. 25-minute game, not a bad start from Risky. He didn't look bad at all in that one. My voice is starting to go, can you tell?
Yeah, no, I mean, we saw games very similar to this earlier. You know, the series can go back and forwards, and Risky is still absolutely in this one. I hope your voice doesn't go too much, because there could be a few more games that we have to cast.
I'm really hoping so. Oh God, does this sound that bad? Oh dear. I'm really hoping so. We are going to get into Ghost River for game number 2. Which is an interesting one. I can tell you a little bit about Ghost River. It's the shortest rush distance in the pool. So if it's a 12 pool Enjoyer pool map. Something.
Lots of pools in that sentence. Lots of pools in that sentence.
I don't think Risky will do it. We did see him play a 12 pool.
Wasn't the first game he played against Gerald 4 minutes long?
Oh, I didn't see it though. Did he lose?
I think I might be talking rubbish, but I seem to remember the first game between Risky and Gerald in the upper bracket final was very quick. So maybe he did do something 12 poorly. I could not say.
Both players are ready, so we're going to load on in to Ghost River. I'm so excited.
You just can't hide it?
I just can't hide it. I don't think we're going to see anything too cheesy. Risky, pretty straightforward player in general, but you know, if there's ever a time to pull a cheeky build out, it's now. We did see a few cheeky
He's not quite life on the line, right? There's two more lives, but you know, he's going to be looking to figure out how he can get one over on Geralt, which he has not succeeded in doing so far.
Do you want to do the caster thing?
I can do the caster thing. We've got a lot of fans of Risky in the crowd, but over here in the top right-hand corner is our Polish Protoss player. It is Geralt.
And make some noise for Risky, spawning in the top left of Ghost River LE, fighting for his tournament life. Please put your hands together. Let's go.
So we had not an argument, a conversation about this earlier. On this map, which player's name should be the top and bottom? Because both players are the same height.
Yeah, I think this was an argument. I would go to blows with anyone that says that you should put the left on the top and the right on the bottom. That's the correct way around.
That's the correct way around. Well, in an English-speaking country, in a left to right writing country, I think it makes total sense. But perhaps it's not the most important thing happening in this game. What's been going on so far? Fairly standard openings, right?
Yeah, once again, it's this hatch block. Again, just a little bit annoying. You can kind of deal with it, you know, emotionally as the Zerg player. I don't feel like we saw Geralt get a huge amount of damage done with those first adepts, like I kind of pointed out in the previous game.
No.
Even lost one kind of uncharacteristically. And didn't really get a drone kill. I think he got one or a Ling kill or something. So not hugely impactful for the rest of the game, but definitely a bit annoying. And on this map in particular, it can be extra annoying because the rush distance is that much shorter. You can basically get across the entire map with a single adept shade, so they will hit just that little bit quicker. He needs to be a little bit kind of more on top of things than usual, but it's risky. I think he can manage it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see which way Geralt wants to take this one, whether he maybe perhaps looks at Glaives in this game, or something a bit different from that we saw in the first one, or we go really standard, we go through the motions, we have some Adepts, we have some Link Stalkers, we have some Stargate units, you know.
Yeah,
Standard.
I mean, part of me says if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
But also, I would love to see something a little bit spicy, something a little bit more cooked. We will see what Gero has in store for us today. It's gonna look at all those clicks on the natural.
That's some APM right there.
That's some clicking.
Ooh.
We did see the
The,
APM at
the
the end of
OC
last game.
the OC players will be proud of that one.
They'd be jealous.
We'd
Yeah,
be
we did see the
spinning.
APM last game, and Risky was pushing like over 500. That's pretty impressive.
Mhm,
For
mhm.
25 minutes, that's a lot of actions.
Is this probe hiding something? Just
He
building
did-
out the way. Just
Yeah,
normal
he did this
Stargate.
in the previous game as well, actually.
Yep.
It's like the Reaper jump up spot, but obviously there are no Reapers in this game.
I hope there's no Reapers in this game.
Out of
Be weird if
nowhere.
there was.
Game where Richie loads in.
Yeah, drops in there to give his UK compatriot a helping hand. Drops a couple of Reapers in the base and just says peace.
Achieving nothing. 'Cause it's
Achieving
already
nothing,
too
yeah,
late.
no, it wouldn't really do a lot with it, but it'd be fun.
That is rough for Risky. You never want to lose your first Overlord. These maps have been kind of shadow nerfing Zerg, and no one will blame me for saying that. It's genuinely true. They've moved the pillars
This is
quite
like
far
the
back
second
from the
Zerg
natural.
cope that you've dropped during this final.
It's not the
Alright.
last though.
Yeah.
They've moved the pillars further back from the natural, so you have to be like slightly more careful to like make sure your overlords are in really safe spots.
Mhm.
Really don't want to lose this one. But I think that one will just barely get away up around there. I don't think this Adept Shade is going to finish. I think he just cancelled it. It did finish. Okay.
Oh, no, he's just going to get a scout off with
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I mean,
he
from the
can
high
get a
ground, it'd be a
drone.
little bit annoying.
Do you
Gets
think
a
this Adept's getting out alive at this point? I think it is.
£5 says it doesn't. Speed's about to finish.
Ah, but what defines out? I just saw that out of the main.
Is that out? Okay.
It's not in the main anymore.
Okay. I think
it's
it's
out
not
as far as
getting
I'm
home.
concerned.
It's not getting home. It might get home. Okay, I owe you £5.
You do owe me £5. Damn, that's unfortunate for you.
Oracle is going to head out and defend now the third from this like small little Ling flood that Risky's going. He can kind of like punish the weakened Adept by sending these Lings across. That pylon isn't done, so that means there's no shield battery here either. Does get the second Adept in location. The Adept does eventually die, so we'll
Yeah,
call it
it's
£2.50.
Yeah, right, we'll split it evens. But yeah, the Adept, the weakened Adept took the front line there. Perhaps a little mistake. It probably should have done a switcheroo with its mate, but you know, in the end, it gets the job done, and those Lings are deflected.
Yeah, it's hard to optimize fully. It was still overall a really good trade for Geralt, in my opinion. He was obviously, on the other hand, like microing the Oracle, and when you're multitasking, as these players are in like 2 or 3 different places all at once, it does get pretty hard to keep track of everything that's going on. This is a little bit of a mistake from Risky, and it's one I've seen him do before actually, and take a little bit more damage on his drones than he should. Previously, he's kept a couple of these alive a bit better than he did today. 4 going down, maybe a 5th if Geralt greeds. Okay, keeping both in the orange health is pretty okay.
It was really nice micro, splitting them up when they got low health, going back in there to try and get that 1 extra drone. And yeah, 4 drones isn't too bad. No oracles lost. You can't complain about that.
Yeah, Risky's actually going to capitalize on Geralt using a lot of the energy on these oracles. Going to force some warp-ins over here back at home. He's making more Lings than is kind of usual, as he does get in and snipe that shield battery.
He's still making Lings. He's actually going pretty hard on this. And is that a knight? No,
That is, yeah.
that's a Nidus.
That's cheeky.
That's a cheeky Nidus.
It's
Okay.
Maybe, I was going to say maybe like a queen kind of play, but like on this map you can basically walk the queens because it's so short. So I'm interested to see what he's kind of cooking here. It's going to be this Blink and +1 opener that Geralt played in game 1 as well.
They're going to shade out, but it's a nice little surround.
They're going to get to the mineral line. More batteries coming down back here for Geralt, so he knows, you know,
Yeah,
not going to cut corners, not going to let that one go down.
Risky's kind of showing his hand, right? He's shown a lot of Lings right now. Obviously, he doesn't know yet about the Nidus or what that's going to be used for, but might get a cancel on these gateways, which you can't say no to.
I'm really curious where this Nidus is going to go up.
22 more Lings. There are going to be a lot of Lings appearing in one of Geralt's bases, or in between the two of them.
They're not a bad spot, I don't mind it. There's no Overlord in the Nat or the main, so I kind of always thought this is where it would have to go. I thought even south of here, like just outside the third,
Oh,
might
is he going to be
a
able to
spot.
cancel it in time?
No,
Nope,
and he
the
actually is
Lings.
going to get a little bit caught by the Lings. Does need to get these queens out here. They have a lot of energy beat up. That's is that 6 queens or 5? 6.
And they're pooping down creep tumors, and they're going to be able to move around a lot quicker once that creep establishes itself if the creep tumors don't get picked off.
The siege begins. This is not a huge number of Lings here, and these queens are off creep, so no transfusers going to come out. Shield battery overcharged used, but he really needs to back up and not kind of fight in front of that. So to be a bit careful of these queens and transfusers to keep them alive.
All
There's
the
no
Lings
Link
dead,
on
but there are a lot more flooding across the map slowly rather than going through the Nidus network, but that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, they're so quick, and on this map they rally so fast. I would love to see Risky get a Nidus down in the main, or the natural even. He does have an Overlord there now. Good dive with the Lings, it gets a lot
That's
of
a great surround. The battery's out of energy as well.
No overcharge either. Oracles are out of energy. Risky focuses down the one that had higher energy and the second one. Has he done it? Has he
huge
cooked?
army supply lead. The worker lead is obviously massively in Geralt's favor, but workers are not going to really stop this many queens and lings.
I fear that Risky is just so all in that Geralt can even give up his third here. He's going to warp in and try and save it. There's a lot of energy left on these queens, so I feel like they won't go down for a good amount of time. But genuinely, I do feel like Risky can take this third and still be behind because the worker count is so healthy for Geralt.
It is a double worker lead, but the army is still massively in Risky's favor. It's just whether or not he can get the damage done that he needs.
Geralt warping mostly in on the high ground, and he can now warp in Blink Stalkers and blink them up to the high ground to keep those alive for a little bit extra longevity. His cannon in the mineral line is a really nice play as well. There's now a shield battery behind the mineral line with an overcharge, which is now going to be back off cooldown very soon. He's in a lot of trouble, is young Risky.
The queens are starting to run out of energy. Transfuses are no longer going to be an option. It looks like Geralt's full walled his natural, put cannons behind it, probably got shell batteries behind there as well. But Risky is struggling to find an angle of attack.
To be honest, he can't even really break the third. This is a rough spot to be in for Risky. I feel like any Protoss like slightly worse than this for the lost. A little bit of a probe pool coming through, but there's so many Stalkers here. Once they wedge themselves in between the minerals, it's really hard for these links to get any surface area. I feel like Risky kind of got a little bit lucky with the first dive, but after this...
And he calls GG. It was a beautiful hold in the end from Geralt. Really nice microing his macro, getting those gateways set up around the third, making sure that there wasn't an avenue of attack for the links to wrap around, getting the Blink Stalkers warped in at the back, as you said, so they can blink up onto the high ground when they take too much damage. And in the end, it was just too much defense.
Seeing Geralt give a little bit of a smile, I feel like...
Yeah, he's enjoying it. He's enjoying it up on the stage at Epic Land. I think he might be coming back, you know.
Yeah, I hope so. It's always nice to get people, and this is a good segue into me pointing at the camera and saying, if you're anywhere near Kettering, including Scotland,
or if you're in Poland,
Northern Ireland, or our regular island, or France probably counts. The Netherlands definitely counts because we have folks from all
apparently
over
the States
here.
counts as well.
Yeah, even like not the West Coast, but anywhere on the East Coast,
only
towards the Midwest,
you
can get to Kettering for Epic Land. We're so grateful for everyone that came out to join us. Please head down if you're in the UK, if you're in anywhere else. Get here, it's a great laugh.
It's such a wholesome place. I want to shout out like the OSU community as well. They've been so wholesome, like clapping and everything.
Yeah,
I've really enjoyed. They've added a lot,
yeah.
and there's a lot of them in the crowd for StarCraft, which is heckin' awesome as well. So thank you guys for coming out and we're checking out our finals.
I do wonder how transferable the skills are. I'd love to see.
I think there's a lot of APM
there.
skill crossover. I'm sure they got the quick fingers that they need to get good at StarCraft. So I hope to see you all laddering in the near future.
Anything to keep our game alive.
Yeah, please.
I think that's an absolute lesson from Geralt in crisis management in that last game there. We see, little snipes and pickoffs here and there that actually give Risky the kind of edge in a game where he's trying to play that way, burning a lot of Oracle energy, sniping shield batteries. Doesn't actually help him in the end. Geralt weathers the storm so well. More cannons behind everything, batteries behind everything. Keeping walls up and really, keeping his head about him as he plays. Like I said, I think any slightly worse Protoss falls to that kind of build.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I could picture people crumbling to that aggressive push from Risky that really nearly brought Geralt to his knees as well. Also wanted to shout out Indie StarCraft as well for bringing the wonder of Epic Land and Kettering to more people across the globe. That's fantastic that you've been able to commentate a lot.
I would say it is across the globe, but it is the globe's centralized mostly in Poland. So
yeah, I mean, Poland is the center of the globe.
I do believe it. Yeah, it's been awesome having him come along and follow mostly Geralt's journey as far as I'm aware. He's been like...
he's had a lot of good games to watch because Gel's been playing very well.
Yeah, absolutely. I wonder if he got that one loss on stream. Do you just like...
Probably.
Do you think they cut the VOD and
I
edited
believe
it out?
No, I don't think they would need to do that given the rest of his performances. But should we do the player introductions?
Yeah, have you done Geralt all three times?
I have done. Yeah, would you like to do it this time?
Spawning in the bottom right, playing in the blue, hailing from Poland, the beast from the east, it's Geralt.
3-0 up in the series as well. And on the other side of the map, in the top left-hand corner of Golden Aura LE, staring down his first potential ever second place at Epic Land, it is the one, the only, the Risky. A lot of love for Risky in the crowd. Love to hear it. The crowd's been awesome today.
I think, as you said, we have folks from the US here, which we obviously are really grateful for them to coming, but I think we've definitively proved that EU greater than NA. But can we prove that UK greater than Poland? I'm not so sure about that.
It's not looking good right now. It's not looking good, bruv.
And I'm not sure that Risky is going to be happy with anything less than a trophy full of Jaeger bombs. Bring your own Jaeger bombs.
Risky usually brings the Jaeger bombs, to be fair, when he wins an Epic LAN, so I have no doubt, win or lose, we're probably going to see some Jaeger bombs tonight.
I hope so, I do hope so. Once again, pretty standard opening from Risky. Again, like I said, he's not really a cheesy player. I'd love to see a bit of weirdness, a bit of the fromage.
I think if we were going to see the fromage phrase, we would have seen it in the previous game when your tournament life is not on the line.
Yeah, on a really small map as well.
Yeah, I think at this point, Risky is just concentrating on giving good games, right? He said to me beforehand he just wants to show some good StarCraft. And yeah, hopefully this one is an exciting match to us.
Absolutely right. I think, you know, given the kind of state of things right now, I think, you know, Gerald is a tricky opponent. I think Risky won't feel too bad at all about losing out to him in this kind of spot.
Maybe. I mean, we saw a bit of head in hands. I don't know if you managed to see the cams on stream in between the games, but Risky maybe he was browsing his Twitter on his phone or something.
Yeah,
I don't know, on Reddit, like thinking about what he's going to order for dinner. But he was yeah, head down, not necessarily looking at the screen, not looking jazzed at how the series has gone so far. So hopefully he finds something within him, some British fighting spirit, some bulldog spirit.
Absolutely right.
To get back into this series.
Until we get a keyboard smash, I think I won't be satisfied. We did get a
really nice keyboard smash yesterday.
No comment.
No
we
comment.
did get the obs pointing out, and can we get a round of applause for EXO, our amazing observer? He's been a killer job for most of the weekend, observing a bunch of these matches. Pointing out to us that there is a Templar council on the way. We see a little bit of a divergence from the Stargate opener we've been seeing so far. I think this is probably Glaze, but now that I say that, maybe DT or Templar Archives, seeing as he's not starting that upgrade straight away.
Do you see an Adept at least?
Yeah,
There's still a chance. There's still a chance.
It's late now, though.
It is late, though, yeah.
But all of it's late, because he's just not using the building at all. Interesting,
mind
kind
games.
of, yeah, mind games.
He's built it for Risky to scout.
Yeah. I mean, you sometimes see this in ZVZ where, like, you make an Evo chamber and you wait for the opponent to scout it, and then you cancel the upgrade because you're doing something else. He's going to, like, float the upgrade, and then as soon as Risky scouts blink, he'll cancel it. There we go. It's not just a large pylon, it's a Dark Shrine.
Some invisible boys with pointy sticks slapped on their fingers. We'll see whether Risky is prepared for a Dark Shrine. It could be really interesting to see how this one works out. These are getting more damage done than I would have thought.
Yeah, interesting that they kind of hadn't so far in the series, but this game they do kind of sneak through. Maybe you know, an indication of Risky's mental state. It's interesting, you kind of point out, when you don't see a Stargate, you can kind of greed and be like, I don't need spores then, there's no oracles, right? And then you're like, I do need spores.
I do need spores, and we do see Risky building some. I don't know if he got vision of the Dark Shrine, did you see?
No, this is more like a safety thing.
Safety
He's
spores,
like, okay, there's no third.
He has no idea, actually. He doesn't know if there's a Stargate, he doesn't know...
You kind of, it's a little bit telegraphed. The third timing is really informative, and it lets you know if there's a Stargate, because with the Stargate, the Protoss can take that like really early third time, and they always will want to. If they're not doing it, you have to think, why aren't they doing it? What's going on?
And his Overlord wasn't getting poked on the pole, where the Oracle usually comes in and gives vision for the Stalker to shoot at it, so there are telltale signs. Yeah,
it's definitely that way. He's going to get a Rotron behind this as well as quite a few Lings, so he's playing pretty safe. I think he may be more worried about Glaives than Visible Men, but we'll see. This is a bit of a favourite build of one.
And now the Queen certainly found out that there are invisible boys in his base.
There we go. Molten would warp these directly on top of a tower. You would say, mate, they're literally invisible, like you're literally banned. I'm a big fan of the Molten stream, and I'm going to make a new account and go back tomorrow. These are going to kind of take their poke and then keep them all alive, and then we're going to walk away and then morph them into an Archon and then come back with an Archon drop. And actually an Archon drop is way more annoying than a DT drop.
Yeah, absolutely. He needs a fourth DT, though, if he wants to make 2 Archons and really complete the look. And we'll see if that happens now.
Can you not make like one extra big Archon out of 3 DTs? Is that not how it works?
If only you could morph Archons into big Archons.
Oh, like double Archons.
Double Archons.
Yeah. And then it had a mind control and everything.
I've got some ideas for a new patch, guys. Hit me up. Get it on the PTR next week.
Yeah, I'm not sure they're going to invite you to the Banners Council. Well,
really? Damn. They might stay.
Risky going aggressive with these Lings. You never really can, because they can always just morph in Dark Templar defensively, and you don't have a lair, so you can't actually see them.
You can't do anything about that.
Bad luck.
Kind of sucks if you're a Zerg, eh?
Yeah, it does suck to suck. Does get some poke down on those Stalkers as the Archon poke comes through.
Ooh, using the Warp Prism for high vision.
Yeah, good timing getting these Roaches out from Risky, though. He's like well aware and nice and ready. Nice follow-up from Gerald, and this is starting to look more like a bit of a Roscoe build. He quite likes the Disruptor follow.
Yeah, we're potentially going to see some big balls coming in as we see Disruptors making their first appearance in the series.
They might be the first appearance this entire land.
I didn't see any in the series I cast. Yeah.
Okay, we'll put bounty out. £50 reward if anyone can find me a replay with a Disruptor in it.
You've already lost £5 on this stream. I wouldn't start chucking out 50s if I were you. It's bold of you, for sure.
Super irritating play from the Protoss to clear up some of this creep. You just kind of join up the drop with the Observer, and then you can start to really poke the edges. This is actually going to be a really interesting build, as we do have an interesting upgrade that you don't often see in this matchup out from the Protoss. Mr. Obs. Ready? Where's the, no, right, down. Where's the tech building? Where's the Robo Bay?
We're never going to see it. I think we just say what it is.
He's hidden it. It's Warp Prism speed. It's going to finish up in like 15 seconds.
It's going to be a speedy Warp Prism.
Like how fast it goes. It's already pretty quick, you have to admit.
I mean, to be honest, I didn't think it needed speed.
Ferrari Prism, look at this.
Oh, check that out.
Yeah.
It's absolutely cooking now. Now we're cooking with gas with that Warp Prism. And that means those drops are going to be even more annoying than they already were.
So annoying how fast it is. I hate this thing. Yeah, as like you said,
it's like a boosted medevac just permanently.
Risky may even think that this is another Archon draft. He's like, oh, I send my roaches to deal with it. Surprise, they're not Archons. No, I think he can't drop them down because Risky's actually completely on top of this with the roach speed. Risky behind this is flowing a huge amount of money. I don't really know what this plan is in this game. We did see that infestation pit coming down, so a hive behind this might be in order.
Just droning for now.
Yeah,
he's chilling. He's chilling.
But both players have quite a low drone count. It's been pretty low eco game overall. The Zerg player kind of has to react to the Protoss, and it's not a hive. It's not infestors. It's the forgotten unit enabled by the infestation.
I'm going to say we've definitely not seen these at land.
We have seen these.
Have we?
Yeah, Risky played these already.
Damn.
You owe me.
I didn't watch that series, so I'm going to be honest with you.
A good amount of drone kills. It's hilarious when you go like all of this tech into getting Disruptor drops out, and then your 4 Adepts get even more damage.
4 Adepts that you didn't have any use for anymore.
Even more drone kills coming through. Not the greatest splits out of Risky. Because you moved it. Oh, don't lose that. Expensive. Shiny.
We're going to recall it. That's how much we care about it.
Yeah, I think genuinely could be game losing if we lose that at this point. Risky's pushing across the map. He's going to run face first into a big wall of angry Protoss units. Would love to see the Locust out here.
And now the Swarm hosts have been spotted. The balls are going to land, but it doesn't kill them yet.
No, really anticlimactic. They don't one-shot the Swarm host. Big Locust wave is actually far enough away, and we actually saw a Stalker blink in to try and bait the Locust to land. Another big destruction. You've got a lot of Swarm hosts behind this. Gerald pulling back while these Locusts run their timer out, but Risky dives on top with all of the Roaches. Archons are going pop at the moment, but there are going to be more Disruptor shots coming through. Not the cleanest splits. Another big hit from those Disruptors for Gerald. He's banking a lot behind this. He's going to re-max basically on Stalkers and go for it, I think. Risky's in a lot of trouble because his supply is massively inflated by Roaches, but mostly by Swarm hosts.
Yeah. What is this supply of the Swarm host?
3.
3?
Yeah, but they're really cheap, so you make loads, and then you're like, oh, I'm maxed, and you're like, you're maxed on nothing.
Maxed on absolute thin air right now.
Yeah, those Locusts do come back, so...
They are free units. You can't complain too much about free units, but right now, yeah, that army supply lead is perhaps a little bit misleading.
I can complain about anything, Ballard.
Yeah, what are we up to, like Cope 4 or 5 for Zerg right now?
Finding the Overlord farm is so painful.
Was it not okay watching Risky win 13 times?
14 or nothing.
14 or out.
14 or nothing.
Give me 14 or give me death.
Gerald does need to be a little bit careful here. Obviously, Stalkers can blink away. They're not really in any trouble, but these tech units, the Immortal and these 2 Disruptors, are a little bit. There is going to be another shot on this furthest one back, nearly up, so Risky needs to be a bit careful, but we're not looking.
Warp Prism not really doing anything in the main there, and Gerald's clearly feeling comfortable. He actually found time to get an extra 10 workers in at some point.
Battery overcharge to try and defend the battery. Big Disruptor shot coming through.
Split that time.
He better split, but it does keep the battery alive long enough that this fight is not winning for Risky at all. He needs to pull these Roaches back, but he's too busy microing on the other side against these charge slots. They're getting a lot of damage done, and I don't think there's much Risky can do here. He's losing the fight on the in the Protoss base. He's not really winning here as he loses another 6 workers he couldn't afford to lose. I mean, look at the worker count. It's like nearly half for the for the Zerg, never a spot they want to be in. +2 finishes up. We have a huge number of Ravs coming through. It's the DT
the
drop
DTs
once
are back.
again.
The DTs, you can't forget that he got that tech earlier on, and he's going to make use of it now.
The lads imported in from Aya once again to wreak havoc on Risky's mineral line. The Spore isn't even rooted.
Oh no!
It's not even got vision of the invisible man. There we go, it does go down
I don't know
now.
why that got lifted up. Absolutely no idea.
I mean, it might have been trying to dodge the disruptor, to be honest.
That seems like a lot of effort.
Ravs on the front are completely unprotected. A few bios coming through, but that's going to be it.
That's going to be it, and it's GG. And huge congratulations to Gerald for taking Epic Land 43 with Intel.
Risky walking across the stage for
A
the handshake and the GG well
perfect
played.
tournament.
Near perfect, dropping one map in the whole thing.
It doesn't get much better than that.
Really well played. Do we have a host to come and give a trophy over to Gerald?
I'm sure we
He's
will
gonna
in a
go
moment. He's
himself.
going to go take it himself. A big round of applause and a huge cheer for Gerald. Congratulations on winning Epic Land 43.
Well done, very well done. How are you, sir?
Pretty well.
Happy with your win, happy with your tactics as well. Also, I watched a lot of it backstage. Could see you just basically steamrolling quite a lot, you know, kind of building and pushing forward all the time.
Yeah, I wanted to play aggressive because when we played before, like in winner bracket final, when I was greedy in last game and Risky just played like his game, it was scary for me. I almost lost this game. So at this time I wanted to play all-time aggressive, so didn't give him time to make his late game. And I'm happy it worked.
Perfect. Well, you've done my job for me anyway. You can lift it again. Why not? You know, give another one. Another cheer for our winner. Perfect. Brilliant stuff. I'll let you crack on, get yourself sorted out. Thank you very much for joining us this evening, though, for the grand final of StarCraft 2. We'll be back tomorrow with Valorant from 10 o'clock, and then CS from 1:15. Just think on the back of my head then the times, but I have them written down somewhere. Thank you very much to our sponsors, Intel, Overclockers, Public of Gamers, and, well, the big screen brought to you by the Purple Group. Otherwise, though, thank you very much for being with us this evening. I'll leave you guys go and, yeah, enjoy your extra hour in bed. Take it easy.